Texas, they're going hog wild over wild hogs. The feral animals are causing hundreds of millions of dollars of damage to crops across the state.
The Texas Hill Country is a place of rugged beauty, but for a farmer, it can be a battlefield. Dale Mueller, a veteran rancher in Blanco County, knew this better than most. In early 2026, Mueller walked out to his primary cornfield, only to find it looking like a scorched earth zone. In a single night, a sounder of feral hogs had systematically decimated 30 acres of prime crop. These weren't just animals eating a snack, they were living bulldozers. Hogs don't just eat the corn, they root up the soil, destroy the irrigation lines, and leave the land looking like it was hit by a mortar barrage. Mueller estimated his losses in the tens of thousands of dollars. Determined to retaliate, he set up a perimeter of high-definition infrared trail cameras. He expected to film the hogs returning so he could coordinate a cull. But when he pulled the SD cards 3 nights later, he didn't see hogs. At exactly 2:47 a.m., the cameras captured an aftermath that left wildlife officials in total disbelief. Across the infrared frames were the shredded remains of over a dozen piglets. There were no shell casings from a hunter's rifle. There were no metal traps. There weren't even human footprints in the fresh mud. Instead, the ground was pressed with small, clean, canine-like tracks. Mueller didn't find the work of a human militia. He found the work of an animal that, until that moment, had been considered nothing more than a nuisance scavenger. The ghosts of the brush had arrived. To understand why a few dead piglets in a Texas field is a national headline, you have to understand the sheer scale of the feral hog occupation in the United States. This isn't just a pig problem. It is the most successful and destructive biological invasion in American history. The fuse was lit in the 1500s when Spanish explorers landed on the Gulf Coast. They brought domestic pigs as a mobile food source, living larders for their expeditions. Many of these pigs escaped, reverted to a feral state, and began to adapt to the American wilderness. Then in the early 1900s, wealthy sportsmen brought over Eurasian wild boars for trophy hunting. These were the true monsters of the forest, aggressive, lean, and highly intelligent. When the domestic feral pigs crossbred with the Eurasian boars, they created a hybrid super pig. This hybrid is a biological tank. They can weigh over 400 pounds, sprint at 30 miles per hour, and possess skin an inch thick that can deflect small caliber bullets. But their most dangerous weapon isn't their tusks, it's their birth rate. A single sow can produce 2 litters a year, with up to 12 piglets per litter. Mathematically, a feral hog population can double every 4 months if left unchecked. Today, there are an estimated 6.9 million feral hogs in the U.S., with Texas carrying the lion's share of 2.6 million. They are present in 253 out of 254 Texas counties. It's no longer a wildlife issue. It's an occupation that costs the U.S. economy $3 billion annually. For decades, we tried every human solution in the book. We treated it like a conventional war, but we were losing every single battle. Ranchers spent millions on cage traps and fermented corn bait, but hogs are terrifyingly smart. They have a group memory. If a rancher catches 4 hogs out of a group of 10, the 6 survivors watch from the brush. They learn what the trap looks like, what the rancher's truck sounds like, and what the bait smells like. They never go near a trap again, and they teach their offspring to avoid them. We weren't thinning the herd, we were accidentally training a smarter generation of survivors. Then came the high-tech approach, helicopter hunting. For $4,000, weekend warriors could fly over Texas pastures and shoot hundreds of hogs with semi-automatic rifles. It looks effective on social media, but the math doesn't work. A flight team might remove 200 hogs in a day, but in the time it took them to refuel, 400 more were born in the adjacent forest. USDA wildlife biologist Dr. Sarah Vance put it bluntly, "We were trying to stop a flood with a teaspoon." By 2014, the consensus among experts was grim. Humans could not win this fight. We were burning through billions of dollars, and the hogs were winning. While human agencies were burning through budgets, nature was already engineering a solution in the shadows. Around 2014, researchers in the Texas Hill Country began documenting a strange phenomenon. Feral hog nests, or beds, were being found completely emptied, with no signs of human or mechanical interference. The impossible track. Dr. Michael Bodenchuk, a veteran wildlife biologist, was one of the first to investigate these sites. He expected to find tracks of mountain lions or black bears predators large enough to handle a protective mother hog. Instead, he found the unmistakable, compact paw prints of the coyote Canis latrans. For decades, the coyote had been dismissed as a trash scavenger or a predator of small rabbits and domestic cats. A 30-pound coyote attacking a sounder of hogs seemed like a biological impossibility, but the trail cameras proved otherwise. Infrared footage pulled from Mueller's ranch and surrounding properties revealed a level of tactical sophistication that mirrored wolf packs. The coyotes weren't just stumbling onto piglets, they were hunting in formations. The cameras showed a lead coyote approaching from downwind, staying low in the grass to avoid the mother hog's scent detection. Behind it, two flankers would move into position. They weren't looking for a fight with the 200-pound sow. They were looking for the exact moment she left the nest to forage. Wildlife ecologists have dubbed this new behavior high-risk micropredation. It is a surgical strike aimed at the only vulnerability the feral hog has: its offspring, the manufacturing chaos tactic. The coyote's strategy is a masterpiece of psychological warfare. They don't engage the mother directly. Instead, a lead coyote will sprint past the edge of the nest, deliberately making noise to draw the sow into a charge. While the 200-pound mother hog is tunnel-visioned on the decoy, the flanking coyotes lunge from the shadows. A single, crushing bite to the neck, and the piglet goes limp. The coyote is back in the brush before the mother even finishes her turn. The entire sequence takes less than 5 seconds. By the time the mother returns to her nest, the insurgency is already 300 yards away, feeding on the next generation of invaders. The data is now backing up the footage. Laboratory results from Fort Hood and Georgia Wildlife Services have found feral hog DNA in over 30% of coyote waste samples collected across the state. This isn't an occasional lucky find. It is a systemic shift in the coyote's diet. In East Texas, more than 30% of piglets now vanish every breeding season, nearly all of them attributed to coyote activity. This revelation has forced a massive and somewhat embarrassing pivot in Texas wildlife policy. From 2017 to 2020, various counties offered bounties of up to $75 for every coyote killed. The logic was simple. Coyotes eat calves and pets, so they must be removed. But the coyote massacre backfired. In counties where the coyote population was reduced by 60%, the feral hog population tripled within 3 years. We were killing the only thing effectively holding back the hog invasion. By removing the micro-predator, we gave the super invader a free pass to reproduce. Today, Texas is pioneering a hybrid strategy. The old playbook of shoot anything that moves has been replaced by a more surgical, data-driven approach. Modern ranchers like Dale Mueller no longer hunt coyotes. In fact, they manage their land to ensure a healthy coyote population. To handle the adult hogs that the coyotes can't kill, they use smart traps. These systems are solar-powered and equipped with cellular links. A rancher can sit in his living room, watch a live feed of his field, and wait until an entire sounder, the whole family, is inside the pen. With one tap on a smartphone, the gate drops. This ensures there are no survivors to learn the trap. In Atascosa County, where farmers combine these smart traps with coyote-friendly land management, crop losses drop from 600 acres of destroyed corn to nearly zero. The coyotes handle the infantry, the piglets, while the smart traps handle the heavy armor, the adults. What we are witnessing in the brush of Texas and the swamps of Georgia isn't just a change in behavior. It is evolution occurring at a breakneck pace. The feral hog, having been challenged by the coyote's micro-predation tactics, is starting to fight back through biological and social adaptation. Biologists have recently documented a new phenomenon called the nursery sounder. In areas with high coyote activity, multiple mother hog sows are now pooling their litters into one massive group. Instead of one mother protecting 6 piglets, you now see 4 or 5 massive sows guarding 30 or 40 piglets simultaneously. By forming these defensive squares, the hogs are attempting to neutralize the coyote's distraction tactics. When a decoy coyote runs past, one sow might charge, but the others stay locked in a circle around the young. This is a direct response to the high-risk micropredation we saw on the trail cams. It's a chess match where the pieces are teeth and claws, and the board is the entire American landscape. Even more chilling is the report of silent hogs. Traditionally, feral hogs are loud, vocal animals grunting and squealing as they root. However, in regions where human and coyote hunting pressure is extreme, populations are becoming eerily quiet. They have learned that sound is a death sentence. They move through the woods like shadows, nocturnal ghosts that have adapted their very nature to evade the sensors and the predators stalking them. Part 9. The Urban Frontline, the war comes to the suburbs. The war against the feral hog is no longer confined to the remote ranches of Blanco County. The occupation has reached the gates of our cities. In cities like Dallas, Houston, and even parts of Florida, feral hogs are now a suburban reality. This isn't just about ruined flower beds. Hogs are systematically destroying urban infrastructure. They have been caught on city surveillance cameras, ripping up underground fiber optic cables, looking for roots but instead severing the internet connections of entire neighborhoods. They are undermining the foundations of highway overpasses and causing catastrophic collisions on airport runways. But the coyotes have followed them there too. The urban coyote, often vilified by city dwellers, is becoming the city's most effective and invisible pest control. While city councils debate expensive trapping contracts, the urban coyote is patrolling the greenbelts and golf courses at 3 a.m., culling the piglet populations before they can grow into 300-pound suburban nightmares. We are seeing a wild ecosystem transplanting itself into our concrete jungles, and whether we like it or not, the coyote is the only security guard working for free. The success of the coyote against the feral hog has sparked a heated debate in the halls of wildlife management. For a century, the North American model of wildlife conservation was built on the idea that humans are the primary managers of the land. We decide who lives and who dies. The fact that $3 billion in human effort failed, while a 30-pound canine succeeded, is a blow to our collective ego. It forces us to ask, why did we spend millions of dollars to kill the very animal that was trying to save our crops? There is still a massive cultural barrier to overcome. Many traditional ranchers still view the coyote as a varmint. They remember the one calf lost 10 years ago and ignore the 10,000 piglets the coyotes have eaten since then. Shifting the narrative from coyote as enemy to coyote as ally is the hardest part of the new war. It's not a technological challenge, it's a psychological one. The Texas model, the coyote insurgency, is now being studied by governments in Australia, New Zealand, and parts of Europe. These regions are facing their own invasive apocalypse, from feral camels in the outback to invasive deer in the UK. The lesson from the Texas massacre footage is universal. Invasive species thrive when we remove the native predators that were meant to check them. By trying to create a safe world for our livestock, we created a perfect world for the invaders. The feral hog is a monster of our own making, born from our desire to control every inch of the wild. Dale Mueller's trail camera footage didn't just show us a massacre, it showed us a correction. It showed us that nature is far more capable of healing itself than we are of managing it with helicopters and poisons. The most effective weapon in our arsenal isn't made of steel or silicon. It's made of muscle, instinct, and a 6-0-million-year-old lineage of survival. The shadow war in the Texas brush will continue. The hogs will continue to breed, and the coyotes will continue to hunt. But for the first time in history, the balance of power has shifted. We are no longer the only ones fighting this war, and if we're smart enough to stay out of the way, the ghosts of the brush might just win it for us. The war for the American heartland is moving into a new phase 1, where we stop fighting nature and start working with it. But we want to know what you think. Are you comfortable with letting coyote populations grow if it means stopping the $3 billion hog crisis? Or do you think the risk to livestock and pets is still too high? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive into the coyote insurgency fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to The Ultimate Reveal. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a report from the front lines of the wild. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the predator you fear is the only ally you have.